Remember when the musician named Prince changed his name to a group of symbols and then nobody knew what to call him, so they just called him the artist formerly known as Prince? Well, we've got a state park that recently got a new name, and the good news is that you can pronounce it, and more good news, today you will understand why the name change is good. Arkansas also has a big name in the world of duck hunting. We talk with one of the leaders of the industry. That's all on this edition of Arkansas's Great Outdoors. Just about every elementary school anywhere near central Arkansas has taken a field trip to Toltec Mounds State Park. But each of those trips since 2022 has visited Plum Bayou Mounds Archaeological State Park. Just like Prince, it got a name change, but not like Prince, we can now understand why. Not too far from the Little Rock metro area is the largest mound site in the state. It's one of 4 state parks with a National Historic Landmark and provides an opportunity to witness active archaeological efforts.
We're here with park interpreter Robin Gabe at the Plum Bayou Mounds Archaeological State Park, formerly known as Toltec Mounds.
Correct.
Why is the name changed?
So the name Toltec came from early settlers here in the late 1800s. They saw these mounds out here on this land and they thought that the Toltecs were the only mound builders anywhere. So they started to call these people the Toltecs. They saw these mounds, again, they call them the Toltec Mounds, and it kind of became a nickname, honestly.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah, and so in November of 2022, there was a decision made really to try and give credit to the actual mound builders that lived here, the people that were here and built these mounds, instead of incorrectly giving credit to the Toltecs of Mexico. So we renamed this park Plum Bayou Mounds Archaeological State Park. Archaeologists have studied this site and studied these people that lived here and that built these mounds, and they call them the Plum Bayou culture. There's a stream not too far from here, a bayou not too far from here, called Plum Bayou. And so all along that bayou they find artifacts and things left by this particular group of people. So that's kind of the reason for that, is we wanted to just give credit where credit was due, so to speak.
Okay, so we don't know the name of the tribe.
That's
because
correct.
It was before a lot of the tribes that we're familiar with?
That's correct. So these people lived here between the years 650 to about 1050. So they're considered to be prehistoric, so before written records were kept, so we don't know, what they called themselves or what their name would have been. So we have had to give them a name. Archaeologists have given them the name the Plum Bayou culture.
What were the mounds used for?
So the mounds had several uses. You can kind of look at the mounds, and we say the mound shape kind of gives you a little bit of a clue. So the really tall platform mounds, we think they might have been used for ceremonies. So think about a modern day event where someone is speaking or performing for a group of people. A lot of times they stand on a stage. So that might have been one of the reasons they had these mounds, is someone maybe was standing on top of the mounds and using them a little bit like a stage for ceremonies.
Project your voice better, you could be heard more.
And be seen, and maybe they could see what was happening in the ceremony, that kind of thing. And then the opposite of that might have been true as well. People were standing on top of the mounds watching what was happening below for, maybe again, these were human beings, so they very likely were playing games. They were doing the same things that we modern day people do, in different ways, of course.
Right.
But since they were humans, maybe they were playing games and enjoying each other's company, and so someone was standing on top of the mounds watching what was happening, kind of in the gathering area. So the overall idea of what was happening here is that this place brought people together. This was a gathering place for the people of the Plum Bayou culture, and it's honestly still bringing people together today.
Here's a fun tidbit for our viewers. Our park interpreter, Robin Gabe, is part of a wonderful outdoors family. She and her husband have 2 sons, and the family has 5 boats. They truly love the outdoors. In fact, her husband and son made an appearance on Arkansas's Great Outdoors when we televised the Game and Fish Foundation's Commissioner's Cup, which is a state high school bass championship. Here's a look at when we approached the Bryant High School team, which included Robin's husband, who was running the boat for the boys, and her son, Aaron. Once the national anthem plays, tournament officials announce the boats one by one, making sure the safety equipment is functional. And then it's time for takeoff. We started our day following Aaron Gabe and Logan Lanier from Bryant High School, who have no fish in the boat, but just missed a 2.5 pounder. The best way to overcome that is to catch a 3.
There you go.
Be better if we catch about a 5.
Yeah, that's right.
If we're gonna be greedy, let's be greedy. Right?
That's right. But then, a few moments later, number 1.
Sir.
Putting the first fish in the live well is always nice. This one weighed 1.25 pounds. How does it feel to get that first fish?
It's a relief for sure, yeah.
It's always nice to know there will be no zero at the weigh-in.
That's right.
Way to handle the pressure of a camera on you too,
No
you know?
doubt. No doubt.
Just as we were about to head out, Bryant wasn't through with showtime. That big fish they'd missed earlier was dwarfed by the one they'd hold up right now. 312, and there were smiles all around the boat. Now what did we just say about how to make a 2.5 disappear to catch a 3?
There you go. There you go. That was sound advice right there.
Yep.
That's Dad in the back running the boat and son Aaron up front. Everyone in the Gabe family knows how to catch a fish. We will have more from Robin Gabe and Plum Bayou in a moment. When we come back, we will head down to Stuttgart, the duck hunting capital of the world, to hear about the folks who make Mack's Prarie Wings the iconic symbol that it is. But first, let's hear from our friends at the Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas with another outdoor safety tip, courtesy of our Arkansas Game and Fish Commission.
Hey everybody, my name is Skeet Lewis. I am an educator with the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission, here to talk to you guys today all about hunting safety. All right, one of the best ways to get safe is to get certified. I have in my hand here one of our Hunter Ed final exams. Hunter's Education is a great course. It's about 10 hours long, and it's going to do a deep dive and really kind of teach you everything that you need to know to become a safe and responsible hunter. The courses are free if you want to come take a class in person. If you want to do it online, that's totally fine. It will cost you about $30. You can actually find and register for a class on our website, arkansasgameandfishcommission.com. I can't talk to you guys about hunting safety without mentioning tree stands. What we found is that most of the time when something bad happens out hunting, it's related to a tree stand related injury. We actually do a report every single year, and what we found on that report is every single tree stand injury, the hunters weren't wearing a full body harness. So make sure that you're wearing a full body harness, and always check your equipment before you go out. Make sure that the steps are intact. Also make sure that there are no broken or loose parts. And it doesn't hurt ever to reach out to someone, let them know when you're going up your tree stand and then once you're out of your tree stand. Gun safety is absolutely vital when you're hunting. The number one rule of gun safety is muzzle control, which is another way of just saying always think about where you're pointing your gun. You want to make sure that when you point at your target, you know what that target is and you know what's well beyond that target afterwards, which means you want to spend a good amount of time in the area that you're going to be hunting, scouting beforehand. Be familiar with it. The biggest part of hunting is the planning and the preparation. Once you have a plan put together, make sure that you share it with someone so they know where you're going to be and when you left and when they can expect you back. All that's for your safety. I hope these tips help you out.
Arkansas's Great Outdoors is brought to you by Bad Boy Mowers, by Visit Hot Springs, America's first resort, by the Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas, by Vexus Boats, and by Certified Arkansas Baitfish, the safe bait. People from all over the country and the world converge in Arkansas every duck season. It is a favorite activity in our state, and one of the favorite destinations is Mack's Prarie Wings in Stuttgart. One of the owners is Chuck Locke, who provided some gift ideas in a previous episode, but his story of how he got started at Mack's is a testament to his dedication to the outdoors and is the story of how a young man looked to solve an immediate problem and ended up with a career.
I was 15 years old and needed a job. and wanted to buy a vehicle, and my parents I knew weren't going to buy me a vehicle. So I came to the gentleman that owned the store at that time and asked him if I could have, you know, Saturdays and after school, and he said sure. And when I graduated high school, my parents asked me if I was going to college, and I said no, I don't think so. I think I'd just rather stay here and work. And I did, and I worked my way up and became part owner in 2011, and been here for 48 years. Commercial duck hunting was pioneered right here in Stuttgart, Arkansas, and Mack's Prarie Wings was all the start of that back in 1944. And you know, we've been on the forefront of it since that day, and we do our best to stay up on new innovative products and bring every edge to a duck hunter that they can possibly think of. You know, probably one of the things that makes us as successful as we are the employees we have. All of our employees are very knowledgeable about waterfowling and about the product you use to do it.
For Chuck, his passion for the outdoors led him to that first job at Mack's. Now, he owns a gift to communicate with his customers and meet their needs. And when it comes to his own outdoors experience, the ability to communicate at nature's level is exciting.
I love calling things and seeing things react to you speaking their language. You know, it's a little different than sitting on a deer stand waiting on a deer to come by. You know, I like to call things and watch them react.
If you are going to call things in nature, this part of the state is a great place to be.
So there's only one Stuttgart, Arkansas, and that's, you know, yeah, it's as good as it gets.
Some of you may have heard that two iconic names in the outdoors merged, Mack's Prarie Wings and Bass Pro Shops. Before we left, Chuck shared a few thoughts about that purchase and what it does and does not mean for the treasured and loyal Mack's Prarie Wings customers.
We did this back the 1st of July, and I know a lot of our customers were out there nervous about this, about what changes are going to happen. And I can assure you folks that Johnny Morris and I have had the conversation about how important the people are and how important the brands are that we currently have, and the customer expectation to see those brands, and how important the name Mack's Prarie Wings is on the front of this building. So I want everybody to I'm just reassuring you, nothing's going to change going forward.
Mack's has served and will continue to serve generations of outdoorsmen, women, and children. Now let's talk about hiking. It's a great way to easily enjoy the outdoors, and Arkansas enjoys hundreds of trails around the state. Here's a tip on how to make your next hike better.
Even when enjoying the great outdoors by yourself, chances are you'll probably encounter someone on the trail. And just like anything in life, it's important to be respectful. And there's actually trail etiquette to follow. When going downhill, technically the person coming up has a right of way. Usually they're going to want to step aside to take a breather, but it's always good to give them the first opportunity to pass. When it comes to right of way between a mountain biker and a hiker, technically the hiker has the first opportunity to pass. However, it's a lot easier for a hiker to step out of the way than it is for a high-speeding bike to stop. Last but not least, leave no trace. Plan ahead to make sure that you can pack out what you pack in.
When Arkansas's Great Outdoors returns, we head back to Plum Bayou Mounds Archaeological State Park and learn how the placement of those mounds help tell the times and seasons.
Arkansas's Great Outdoors is brought to you by Bad Boy Mowers, by Visit Hot Springs, America's first resort, by the Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas, by Vexus Boats, and by Certified Arkansas Baitfish, the safe bait.
Earlier in the show, we discussed the name change at what was once known as Toltec Mounds State Park and is now Plum Bayou Mounds Archaeological State Park. Another mystery remains, the placement of the mounds and how they helped the people who lived there over 1,000 years ago.
Will you tell us a little bit about the placement of the mounds, why they are placed the way they are?
Of course. So these mounds weren't just placed anywhere. There was a plan for where they were putting the mounds. So they would stand on one particular mound. We call that Mound H. It's a mound. Some of these mounds have been destroyed by modern agriculture, but we know where those mounds used to be. And so they would stand on one of those particular mounds and watch the sunset every day. And based on where the sun was setting in the western sky, they could keep up with what time of year was happening. So they were marking the winter solstice and the summer solstice and the spring and the fall equinox days. Perhaps that's when some of these gatherings would have taken place, just like we gathered here today for a first day hike. You know, they might have been gathering here on certain days to have special celebrations or some sort of get together.
That is so fascinating. It just blew my mind when you said, and the sun, the furthest north it goes,
correct,
or you know, and then the furthest south it goes,
correct,
when it sets.
Still setting in the western sky.
Yes, still setting in the western sky. Yes, the furthest left, the furthest right, and then right in the middle, and it times perfectly with our winter, summer, and then spring, fall.
It does.
Dates.
It does.
It's just fascinating.
It's amazing. Yes. So these people were, you know, we modern day people spend a lot of time inside and on our devices, which is great. But those things are wonderful. But these people really were much more in tune with nature and what was going on around them than what we are today. We could maybe learn something from them and get outside a little more.
Yes. We support that.
Yes. But to stand where history happened and experience it for yourself, there's just something about that, and I love to get to witness people seeing that for themselves and experiencing right here, this is where this happened, or this is where something took place.
The more I study history, the more I am amazed how little we've changed.
Right.
And I think, and you pointed that out, you know, what would they have done? Well, they would have wanted to eat. They would have wanted to dance or sing. And you said, well, over here is where we found the remnants of eating, you know, so they're very similar to us. It's very helpful to make that connection with
Absolutely, yeah, and that's one of the things that we try really hard to do here is help people make a connection to the group of people, the culture of people that lived here over 1,000 years ago.
One of the things we have noticed all over the state is that these park interpreters absolutely love their jobs.
Just being able to see people experience something for the first time. And I get to guide people around and help them understand and make a connection with the culture of people that lived here. My background is in education, so I started many years ago as an elementary school teacher, and I really enjoyed that job, but then I found park interpretation, and I found that I'm still teaching, I'm still helping people learn a little bit about history, but there's just something different about, again, standing here in this place and helping people experience, just have an experience where history happened.
Right. Well, it makes a big difference. We had been discussing earlier, our youngest son remembers coming here on his field trip in elementary school, and he's now 19 years old serving a mission abroad, but he remembers coming to then the Toltec Mounds, but now Plum Bayou. Well, thank you very much, Robin. We really appreciate your time and your engagement and your interest and your education for us.
You're very welcome. I'm glad you came. Thank you for being here today.
We aren't finished at Plum Bayou. They joined a few dozen Arkansas state parks in hosting the annual First Day Hike event. Now, that's a great way to start a new year. Or if you're watching this after January, a hike is a great way to start any new day.
Arkansas's Great Outdoors is brought to you by Bad Boy Mowers, by Visit Hot Springs, America's first resort, by the Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas, by Vexus Boats, and by Certified Arkansas Baitfish, the safe bait.
Every January 1st is a new opportunity to start something new. A fresh start can be a wonderful thing. Now, in a few moments, we will show you what our state parks can offer for a great first effort of a new year. But first, let's take a look at what is new in the world of boat building through the eyes of our North Arkansas experts in the business.
There's a lot of heritage at Vexus Boats. We've been around a long time. We've been designing boats and creating experiences for customers for 50 plus years.
There's a confidence when you get in our boats that you will not find anywhere else.
A lot of times we go out in the wind and the rain and snow and sleet, but we go on with confidence in a Vexus boat. From the shape of the hull, the dry ride, the airwave seat pedestals.
VX20 was phenomenal. I mean, the way it handled was incredible.
You just kind of see that confidence when you're at takeoff and it is blowing, and you look at another guy that has a Vexus and it's just like, this is going to be fun.
And I have confidence in that I'll get to my spot and get back. No matter what the weather is, no matter how windy it is, this boat handles rough water.
Confidence is built into every Vexus we build. That's due to the fact that we have got people from the top down that have been a part of this industry since its very inception.
If you look at our fiberglass product, it is unique. We say lighter, faster, stronger. When we started the infused composite construction process, that's what we had in mind, a more consistent, lighter, stronger vessel.
The hull design is really why the hull can run so hard and so fast in rough water. It's designed to basically part the water instead of push through it.
You don't feel that fatigue. You don't feel that driving force of the water coming up through the boat. You just feel more comfortable at the end of the day.
With a Vexus boat, we work very hard from the way that that boat is built to the way it's finished and rigged to give you absolute peace of mind. And all you have to worry about is filling that live well.
We had a lot of fun visiting Plum Bayou Archaeological State Park, and we did so as part of a first day hike. This is a fun thing that happens every January 1st across the country. First day hikes to start the new year celebrating state parks. Here's a look at our experience this year.
Welcome to, again, Plum Bayou Mounds Archaeological State Park. Welcome to the first day hike. I don't know how many of you are, y'all know, I love this. Love this crowd already. So if you look out there in the distance behind me, you can likely see three pretty large mounds. Clay, so pottery, pieces of pottery. The people that lived here, we call the Plum Bayou culture. They were here about 1,000 years ago, a little over 1,000 years ago.
You get to meet some new friends, hear from some fabulous experts in the field, and you even get a first day hike sticker. Something you can look at all year long to let you know you started the year off right. We thank you for watching today. We had a great time at the park formerly known as Toltec Mounds and is now much more accurately titled Plum Bayou Archaeological State Park. History of over 1,000 years where the mounds act as gathering places and even as calendars. We thank Robin Gabe for her knowledge and excitement about sharing the ancient Arkansas history as seen through the outdoors. You also got a true Arkansas outdoors business story with Chuck Locke, one of the owners of Mack's Prairie Wings. He loves seeing the call and the response of ducks and turkeys, and that passion helps meet the needs of duck hunting customers all over the world. Arkansas is truly a great place to enjoy the outdoors. We thank you for spending your time with us this week, and we will see you somewhere in Arkansas's great outdoors.